4 years ago, I found out my wife was pregnant with our first child. She didn't seem as thrilled as most because she wasn't sure if she wanted kids, but we had been trying for 6 months. 3 weeks later, I found out she had been cheating on me. She swore it was mine because she hadn't done anything with the other guy since her last period, but the entire pregnancy was rough for our relationship. I worried about my unborn from the arguments we were having. I worried about her from her constant crying. I put my mental health on the back burner. I think I had PTSD, to be quite frank. I was also nervous as to what if he wasn't mine. Now, I adore this woman. I have since high school. We started dating when she was 15 and I was 17. We had been married for 7 years at this point, and were both in our late 20s. I would do anything for her. Still would. We were on vacation to where she had told me how scared she was about the pregnancy while crying, and we talked quite a bit. Never registered to me something else was going on. At some point during the vacation, she installed her Facebook Messenger on my phone due to spotty internet. I don't have Facebook, never have. When we got back from vacation, I started getting Facebook pop-ups. Didn't know what they were, so I read them. It was a guy from her work claiming he missed her, talking dirty talk. He wanted to get together that night, etc., etc. She turned him down. She broke it off. She didn't know I was watching the whole thing. I was at work, my heart being shattered, and trying to pretend like nothing was going on to my coworkers. I confronted her about it when she got home. She denied for about a second until she knew I knew. She told me he was the only one. I still don't know if that's true. I just don't fully trust anything she said at that moment. I told her if I found out she was lying, I would leave her on the spot, despite the fact she was carrying my kid. She said they only got together once. I called bullshit. She said 3 times. I still don't know if I trust that. She said it hadn't been for about 3 months. I think I trust that. Now, as I said, I adore this woman. I never left. We had many nights of tearful conversations. I had the worst chest pains of my life, and as I said, I think I still have PTSD. Every time I hear that fucking Facebook Messenger alarm, even on a stranger's phone, to this day, I get anxiety. She said she'd never do it again. I told her if I ever found out she had lied to me or was cheating again, I'm gone, no questions asked. Quite honestly, and this is not me trying to protect her, but I think she was on the verge of suicide. She has suffered from depression for about 12 years. She was in a funk. I knew, but didn't have the balls to do anything to get her out of her funk. I still feel awful about that. I think she wanted to see if she could feel something with somebody before she did the deed. In fact, I came across a journal she had written at the time saying she wasn't even attracted to her own husband. In a way meaning that she doesn't feel anything and is numb from her depression. I've never confronted her on the suicide thing, but did on the attraction thing, and have since made appointments for her to get help. Our sex life was fine. Not as often as I would have liked. I thought due to her depression. Maybe I just wasn't doing enough to support her and help her feel in the mood. She still doesn't initiate, which is something I wish would change. I've brought that up before. Also, when I bring up anything about the affair, she deflects and gets upset. She did this mostly from the start, but I would make her talk. Also, we've never told anyone. That's something that, at times, I feel like should change. Well, except I told her best friend at the time. I didn't know what else to do. They don't see each other as much, unfortunately. The guy, he was quite a few pay grades above her. Worked with her. She still works there. I hate that. He moved away. His wife doesn't know. I told him I'd leave it up to him and that I hoped if he didn't tell her, that it would eat at him every time him looked at his wife and son. To be honest, I could wreck his life if I wanted to. I dream of that, but I would never. Unless I found out something was going on still, though it's not. I am a good man. I try to be the best man I can, and I think it shows. But I dream of him dying an early, painful death, and I dream of traveling to his grave and pissing on it, to be honest. 4 years later, this is the first time I've really admitted to any of this. I know this is super long and I'm sorry. Trying to take full advantage of the subforum, though. I don't want to hear about her being a bad person, either. I love her like crazy still. Shush is not a bad person, but was just in a bad way. We have 2 kids now. They're adorable. I love my family. I just want to put this out there because I've never talked to anyone about it, and thought maybe it would help me heal some of the trust issues and resentment that I still have after 4 years. No TLDR here because it's not worth it. I'm sure there's so much more to say that I forgot, but I don't want to start crying as I'm sitting here by myself. Lol, to be truthful, I don't think about this as much anymore. In the early days, I thought about it every 5 minutes. Then every hour. Then every day. Now, maybe once a month, if that. I just thought this might help. It may not, judging on the early responses. I have no inclination to leave her. I love her dearly. I am very happy overall. I just feel like she's put a mark on our relationship. We live a happy life with our 2 kids. We both have good jobs. I think we've grown from this for sure. Edit. Screwed up the title with in instead of on, because that's just what I do. Don't know how to fix it. Sorry. Edit 2. Added the last paragraph for more clarity. Thanks guys. Treat each other with kindness, always.